Professor Okeamamiehe, what are you doing here? Don't you know divology, swimology, and ronewology? Or did you not study all that in school? In the prosperous land of Osuji lived a man named Professor Okeamamiehe, an erudite scholar, celebrated far and wide for his vast intellect. He was revered for his academic prowess and knowledge in various disciplines. However, his reputation also came with a flaw. Professor Okeamamiehe was exceedingly proud of his intelligence. He carried himself with an air of superiority, looking down on those he deemed less educated or lacking formal knowledge. His arrogance provoked many in the village, but they tolerated him out of respect for his achievements. One day, the village chief summoned all the men of Osuji to a meeting at the town hall. The purpose of the gathering was to resolve an age-long land dispute with the neighboring village of Amankita. This conflict had caused tensions between the two villages for years, and the chief hoped the collective wisdom could bring a lasting solution. The hall was packed with villagers eager to share their ideas. As the meeting progressed, various suggestions were made. When it was Professor Okeamamiehe's turn to speak, he stood up confidently, his chest puffed with pride. "My fellow villagers," he began, "I am pleased that we are finally addressing this matter. It is long overdue. I propose that we take a spiritual approach. Let us consult Oku Osuji, the great wizard, to cast incantations on the disputed land. By doing so, we will render the land inaccessible to anyone but the people of Osuji." The villagers murmured among themselves, some nodding in agreement, while others seemed skeptical. Then Nzubechi, a humble canoeist known for his wisdom and practical outlook, rose to speak. "Professor," he began respectfully, "I understand your perspective, but I do not think this is a wise way to go. The people of Amankita are known to be very spiritual and diabolic. If they discover that we have taken such measures, they will surely retaliate with their own spiritual methods. This could escalate the conflict further. I suggest we take this matter to court and allow the government to resolve it." Professor Okeamamiehe's face darkened with anger. He glared at Nzubechi and shouted, "How dare you challenge my well-reasoned and intellectual superior suggestion? Do you even understand the intricacies of sociology, psychology, behavioral economics, or cognitive science? What does an illiterate, poverty-stricken canoeman like you know about conflict resolution? I have studied the behavior of the people of Amankita extensively, and I assure you my approach is the best." The room fell silent as Nzubechi, hurt by the professor's outburst, sat down quietly. The meeting was adjourned without reaching a consensus, and the villagers dispersed. Nzubechi returned home, feeling disheartened by the professor's arrogance and disdainful words. Time passed, and Professor Okeamamiehe continued in his arrogant ways, dismissing others and demanding admiration for his knowledge. But fate had a lesson in store for him. One fateful night, bandits from Amankita launched a surprise attack on Osuji. They set fire to the village, and the flames spread rapidly, engulfing homes and fields. Chaos erupted as villagers scrambled to escape the trouble. The only path to safety was across the river that bordered the village. However, most of the canoes had been destroyed in the attack, leaving only one intact, the canoe owned by Nzubechi. Nzubechi immediately sprang into action, ferrying villagers across the river in batches. Those who could swim dived into the water and made their way to safety, while others relied on Nzubechi's canoe. The humble canoeist worked tirelessly, navigating through the darkness and flames to save as many lives as possible. Among those stranded on the riverbank was none other than Professor Okeamamiehe. Unlike many others, he could not swim. He stood helplessly, watching as Nzubechi transported groups of villagers to safety. When it was his turn, he approached Nzubechi with hesitation. Nzubechi, seeing the professor, couldn't help but recall the man's earlier arrogance. Smiling wearily, he said, Professor Okeamamiehe, what are you doing here? Don't you know divology, swimology, and ronewology? Or did you not study all that in school? The professor looked at Nzubechi confused and embarrassed. What exactly do you mean? He asked proudly. Nzubechi replied, What I mean is that smokology, ethology, and phyology will meet you here because I will not allow you enter my canoe. Because my canoe is for ordinary illiterate men and villagers. Isn't that what you called me? Realizing the gravity of his situation, Professor Okeamamiehe dropped to his knees and began to beg. Nzubechi, my brother, please forgive me. I am truly sorry for the hurtful words I said to you. I was wrong to look down on you and your wisdom. Please save me. The other villagers joined in, begging Nzubechi to forgive the professor. After a moment of silence, Nzubechi's kind heart prevailed. I forgive you, Professor, he said. Climb into the canoe. Nzubechi ferried the professor across the river, ensuring his safety. On the other side, the professor fell to his knees again, this time in gratitude. Nzubechi, he said, you have taught me a lesson I will never forget. True wisdom is not measured by academic knowledge, but by humility, kindness, and respect for others. From that day on, Professor Okeamamiehe changed his ways. He became a humbler man, treating everyone with respect and acknowledging that every individual, regardless of their education or status, had something valuable to contribute. Moral lesson. True wisdom is not in the accumulation of knowledge, but in humility and the recognition that everyone has value. Arrogance blinds us to the strength of others, but humility opens our hearts to collaboration and growth. No one is self-sufficient. We all need one another in the journey of life. Thank you so much for watching this video to the very end. If this video blessed you, please like, share, and subscribe to this channel. By doing so, you're helping the algorithm recognize my channel and show my content to more people. Thank you once again, and see you in my next video.